Hey, welcome to yourlocalnote.com. My name is Mike Stringer, joined as always by RJ McKay. It's time again for another featured podcast, but let me remind you why we built this site. It's a place for music listeners around the Philadelphia area to get to know and keep up to date with bands and artists from this area. And there's many ways you can do that. We have our free iPhone and Android app where you can stream our station 24/7. We have an upcoming shows page that is updated daily. And of course, these featured podcasts where we get behind just the songs, we get to know more about the artists themselves. And this week, we welcome back the Parsnip Revolt. It's been just about 2 years since we had them on first. They have a brand new full-length album. It's called A Sunshine Report. And so we will begin with a track off that album. The song is called Keep It All. And they are the Parsnip Revolt, back on yourlocalnote.com. And that is Keep It All, and they are the Parsnip Revolt. You're listening to yourlocalnote.com. Guys, welcome back into the studio. Thanks for hanging out.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
No problem. Let's introduce who's here, and then also let us know who's not with us right now for this podcast.
My name is Geremiah Giampa. I sing and play guitar.
Tom Mellon, play drums.
I am Brian Finn, and I play the bass.
All right, and who are we missing?
We're missing Jake Williams, our guitar player, and Matt Ensminger, our utility guy. He plays keyboards and guitars and sings.
Okay, and is he someone that you picked up in the recording of this new album?
He actually, after the album was finished, we needed to beef up our live sound to kind of match what we're doing on the record, and Matt was the perfect fit. He's a friend of mine from high school, and we've just known him. I've only been out of high school for 2 years. So I've only known him 2 years.
Excellent. Now, a Sunshine Report. Last time we spoke, you had a few EPs out. A lot has changed since then. You've been on the road a lot. Let's talk about first this song, Keep It All, that we begin with. Tell us about that song. What's it about, and maybe how it was written.
Keep It All was actually written as a folk song. I had a harmonica to it, and then one day I came up with the riff, and we brought it to the band, and we kind of fleshed it out and made it what it was. What it's about is just kind of not completing your life to the fullest. You think you've done everything, but you really haven't done anything, and it's just kind of like sitting back and regretting a little bit of what you missed out on life.
Okay, and do you write most of the songs, Jeremiah?
I guess I have.
The lyrics,
I write the majority of the music and the lyrics. But Brian writes songs, Jake writes songs. So.
Okay, take us through a little bit of that process with this album in particular. Was it mostly you started the base of the song and then brought it to these guys? How many songs were written just by you? Maybe Jake has a song or two on the album.
We recorded 12 songs on the album, and I guess maybe 9 of them maybe were shells that I had, and Brian had a song, and Jake had 2 songs. And what we did was we went to a producer. His name was Derek Chafin, and he took our songs, what we thought were complete, and completely destroyed them.
Really?
but actually, he trimmed the fat. He taught us how to reach the the emotional peaks of the songs a little more efficiently, and just kind of we work together much better as a songwriting unit because of this. We grew, I think, leaps and bounds because we learned from a Zen master.
Definitely. We'd go into pre-production sessions with him, and we'd work on the songs, and it was like when we'd have a rehearsal on our own, we all kind of became different people and different musicians because of it, because we learned like new techniques of how to look at the song and how to take it apart and how to put it back together. It's kind of funny, Keep It All specifically used to have this big long jam in it and was a completely different song, and Derek was like, no, the best part of the song is the riff. That should be the song. And we were like, okay, that makes sense, And then so when we put it back together, we dropped that whole part from it except for one little piece that was left of it, and it works so much better as a song, and it's 2 minutes shorter too, which is good.
Yeah.
How difficult was that for you at the very start of the process for this album to just kind of sit back and listen to a feedback from somebody like him and just accept it?
I craved it. I like that. Because sometimes you feel like you're kind of out on your own, and they don't want to say, dude, that sucks. And I don't want to say, dude, that sucks, because it like kind of hurts your feelings. But when you have somebody else say, it doesn't suck, but if you do it this way, it might sound a little better. So it felt good to me to have that criticism. I think Jake, our guitar player, took it the hardest because he prided himself on making, pretty guitar and all this stuff. And Derek was like, no, you're the gas pedal. You have to be a man, and really just like put some balls, as part of my French, but
it's okay.
But really just drive the point home. So Jake's actually been a little more focused and more aggressive, if you will, on the guitar, while still keeping elements of himself.
Right.
But at first, Derek was stripping Jake down to the point where Jake, I think, was going to have a mental breakdown.
Break him down and then build him up.
Exactly. And I don't think Jake was seeing the end game in it.
You're right.
He was saying, well, I'm being stripped down and I can't be Jake anymore. But as the song started layering and he was able to come in and do his pretty stuff over top,
right,
underneath this driving rhythm or whatnot,
right,
I think he blossomed as a guitar player.
Definitely.
Right? Yeah. So
do you all feel you're better musicians now than you were 2-3 years ago, solely due to Derek's help?
Yeah, I think so too. Even for Brian and I being in the rhythm section, we went in there knowing a lot of these songs that we had written even a couple of years ago when we first came in here, and we've revamped. When we started working with Derek, he saw that most of our songs, the very core of them, had a real nice groove to them.
Right.
So, it didn't really take long, because Brian and I have been playing as a rhythm section for a long time, but I think we found something even stronger in the studio.
Definitely. Okay.
Which it really is fun to bring across in our live show now.
How did you guys meet up with Derek? What made you choose to work with him?
Well, along the way, as we were deciding what to do about this album, we got a manager.
Okay.
His name's Brian Cronin, and Brian said, "Well, you have to make a proper album."
Right.
So he had 3 producers in mind that he wanted us to meet.
Okay.
And see how we gelled, and we met Derek. He was the first one he brought us to, and we didn't want to meet anyone else.
Really?
Yeah.
Just Derek's like, Mr. Miyagi cutting bonsais, and we're like, show us the way. We're doing crane techniques on the way to the car. We were so excited. So,
was that a unanimous decision?
Yeah, I think immediately.
It was love at first sight.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
And Jake was even into it, but he didn't realize what he was.
Right.
Yeah. Had he known, he would have been like, I'm out of here.
Did he break down everybody to a certain degree, or
Yeah, I think he was hard on everybody. I mean, especially him at first, because
him meaning
Tom,
okay.
our drummer, because he was the first thing that had to be recorded.
Okay.
So going into that, we spent every Sunday working out these songs. So he would have to just make him play over and over, and then Derek would get on the kit and say, I hear this sort of pulse through the whole song, and then that would kind of make you, I guess, follow that along and move things along. And
yeah, it's funny because as Jeremiah was saying, when we started the pre-production of this album, and Derek had me looping drum beats forever and ever and ever just so the other guys could get on board, but it really paid off. Now I feel even our manager came to me at the end of one of our recent shows and said to me, are you playing to a click track? And I'm like, in my mind, maybe, but
nice.
And that's only from the repetition of
right.
it. And last year over St. Patty's weekend, while everyone else was drinking and having a good time, as G was saying, we recorded the drum tracks and a couple of songs that didn't even make it on there, which just split me to the core. I mean, doing it over and over again, trying different tempos and everything else, to think they didn't even make the album.
Wow.
But the whole experience
it
was
helps
great.
you down the road, though.
It does.
And it helps you with other things, because just the repetition and the practice, and you're getting more and more used to Derek's instructions and styles. Mm-hmm. So it would make it easier for you then to pick up and move faster.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a little bit of a robot now when we play shows.
Okay. All right. Let's get to the second song, Somewhere Down the Line. What is that song about? Jeremiah, did you write that one?
Yeah, that song is just about a relationship that is not maturing as well as it could because there's some past baggage preventing it. So it's kind of about the other person on the receiving end sort of figuring that out.
Oh, okay. Very cool. All right. The song is called Somewhere Down the Line. It's from the album A Sunshine Report. The band is the Parsnip Revolt, and you're listening to YourLocalNote.com.
Floating like there's nothing I could lose. Blurry vision bruised, I'm so confused. Then a tightrope found its way around me. Pulled ashore, I'm haunted, I am warm. When a voice inside me tells me why I'm wrong. Cold feet
The song is called Somewhere Down the Line. The band is the Parsnip Revolt, and their new album is A Sunshine Report. We're hanging with the guys tonight and talking about the album. Was there any point in time with Derek doing what he was doing, did you feel that you were going to have to maybe start over, or maybe this was not going to happen?
Well, the only time we felt it wasn't going to happen was when we ran out of money.
Okay.
So what we did, we started a Kickstarter campaign.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And
how'd that work?
Awesome.
It did.
We have an album here.
All right. Nice. Nice.
We asked for $4,000, which
Right.
was way less than what the album cost us, and I mean it was amazing. I got choked up. Just even the first week, we were past $1,000, and it was just like, wow, we didn't even know this many
Fans.
people care.
Fans were contributing, family members, friends.
Totally.
People you never heard of before.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people on there I don't think any of us knew. There was a decent amount of people there I'd never heard of.
Okay, a couple bands that we have talked to have used Kickstarter, so we like to share success stories. What was it about Kickstarter that you liked, that you were attracted to and said, okay, let's do Kickstarter? And how easy was it?
I just like the fact that people had all these creative ideas and they don't have an avenue or the capital to do it, and then all of a sudden, like, the world believes in it,
right?
And they're able to put it out. So it was neat. We were going through all these other videos of how people were doing it, and people were very creative. And our friend Matt, who's now in the band, he did a video for us.
Okay.
So he was filming us during our recording sessions. So he kind of montaged a little bit. And
so you contact Kickstarter, and they send you information that you can then look at. And as you said, you were looking at other videos. They give you an opportunity to see other videos.
You just go on their website and you log in. You create a profile,
right?
And you pitch your idea to them.
Okay.
And then they look it over, and if they think it's worthy or whatever, they'll approve it. And then you have 30 days or 50 days, something like that,
to raise the money.
They suggest 30 days because it gets people a little more active.
There's a time limit, and okay, I get that. So you highly recommend Kickstarter?
I certainly do. I mean,
definitely.
I think Amanda Palmer got over $1 million or something like that. She's made to make a record, which is crazy.
That's nice. And if I remember correctly, it happened for you guys pretty fast. You mentioned the first week you got $1,000. Did you have to even use the whole 30 days to?
No, what was it, 25 or 26 days I think it was done so it was a little short of the 30 days, which was good, nice.
And people still contributed after we met our goal, which was still just,
Yeah, it was just about, just shy of $5,000. So we exceeded the goal.
Wow, that's excellent.
One of the biggest things for it is as these guys were saying, it's a validation of what you're doing. And we were so excited to be in the studio, and we really believed in this project and the people close to us. So no one had even listened to it yet. All they saw was our promotional video, and they said, and they believed in it enough. And, of course, it was a lot of fans and friends that we've accumulated through the years, but to have that done, to get over that financial hump was huge. And again, we have something to show for it now. And it's nice because, for the people at a certain level of donations, their name will be in that album with us forever in the inside.
It was definitely like a justify your existence moment, for us, I think. It was like, wow, there's, what was it, 88 people who believe that this band should exist and this record should be made, and that's pretty cool.
And that's added motivation for you guys then to return into the studio. You're not only playing for yourselves now and creating this album for yourself, but now you have all those backers that the work that you're doing now is for them because they put the money up front for that. That's excellent.
We're trying to promote something that they helped us make.
Right. Now, as far as the lyrics of the songs on this album, is there any common theme throughout this album that you could surmise from the songs?
I guess draw on relationships, whether it be, a couple or people I see who are struggling with something. I usually try to give a sort of a human personal element to it. Now, sometimes I wish I could be a little more worldly and appeal to more people. But I'm working on it.
Yeah.
But right now I just touch on things that I know.
Okay. So are you writing fiction, nonfiction, a combination of both?
You know what? I'm writing real stories about real things that happened to me or people around me.
Got it. And has that been the case throughout even the EPs before this album? Is that your writing style?
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
Okay. Now, playing these new songs live, was there anything? Did you get a chance to play them live before getting into the studio, just to get any feedback from a crowd, from listeners before getting into the studio?
Well, I mean, we've been playing these songs for a while because we tried to make an album on our own of a lot of these songs. So we were playing them how we used to play them, and I guess they weren't as happening as we thought they were. But so nobody's really during that time heard what we put on this album here.
Okay. Let's go to the third song here. It's She Said. What can you tell us about that song?
She Said is a song about a family member of mine that are not. We used to be close, and I wish we were closer.
Okay.
But things are not working out the way life has them.
Now, would this person find out that this song is about her?
Oh, how'd you know it was a her?
What's that?
Well, yeah, it is a her, but would she know?
I guess it didn't necessarily.
No, it's pretty obscure. Like that person wouldn't know.
Okay, got it. We are talking with the Parsnip Revolt. We have them back after almost 2 years to talk about their album A Sunshine Report, and this song is called She Said. You're listening to yourlocalnote.com.
Do you remember me when you're walking by this place I'm there? Do you see my face? A feeling barely comes to me. There's so much more than miles that come between and who we are. My anger came with age. I wish you understood me. I'm breaking down and you seem to ignore me. Wanna tell you that you're breaking my heart. We're now too apart. Dysfunction came to be, but you don't know what's real until you're free. I let it go and tear down these walls. I'll tear them down. I wish you understood me. I'm breaking down and you seem to ignore me. Wanna tell you that you're breaking my heart. We're now two and I miss our dreams. I'm clinging to these faded memories, but we can't hold back these feelings any longer. Do you remember? Do you remember me? I wish you understood me. I'm breaking down and you seem to ignore me. Wanna tell you that you're breaking my heart. We're now two. I wish you understood me.
And that is She Said, and they are the Parsnip Revolt, and you're listening to yourlocalnote.com. Now that this album is out, you guys have been pretty busy. You released it in January. Was the release
beginning
show?
of January.
Okay, and you've been playing all around. What are some of the shows that you've done that maybe you could talk about your performances there? I know you guys went to the Millennium Conference.
We did, that was just past 2 weeks ago. We went there, played in Camp Hill. There was a Philadelphia showcase, so we played with the Lux, Great Socio, Song Dogs, and the Standing Cinema.
Yeah.
All Philly bands.
And how is that? I mean, how have the performances been since releasing this album, playing this new material?
We're light years better than we used to be. We're so tight. We're like a well-oiled machine now because we know every part of this thing inside out, and
Right.
it's almost you kind of can let go and just get into it now because you're not so focused on if I'm playing the right notes or whatnot. You're just it's like automatic pilot.
It's
now.
a lot more fun now because it's not that, we have something to prove, but I don't know how to say it right. It's just I get this feeling now when I'm on stage of like everything is in its right place, kind of, and there's none of that weird thing between myself and any of us in the audience or anything. Like we're not putting up any walls between us and them, and it's just this free flow of sound. And I don't know. It's very different since the record came out. Every performance has been
We're
extremely
at
different.
peace with
I
each
think.
other.
I think so.
Oh,
yeah.
namaste. It's fun for me being a drummer to kind of look around and see the guys, not just their butts, but it's really weird. Yeah, please bring out the leather pants.
The assless chick.
I mean, but that's mostly what I see. I see the back of heads and butts.
That's horrible.
It is. It's
Life of
a
a drummer.
terrible thing to look at. But Brian has really, Brian, our bass player, has really picked it up a notch. Jake has too. And when I look at them and kind of what Brian was saying with kind of losing it on stage a little bit and just falling into the music, it kind of, especially for Brian, he's very, I never knew he was that much of a dancer. It's kind of like the angry dance scene in Footloose.
Nice.
Minus the Miller High Life that he smashes against the yellow bug. But
And same with Jake. He used to stand there like a firecracker.
yeah,
Now he's like dancing around.
right, exactly, dancing with the stars, kind of. But yeah, Jake too. All I see is this bald head now, just
Glistening in the light.
moving all over the stage.
And now that you don't have to worry about, like you said, every specific note or make sure everyone's on the same page, you probably notice a lot more of what's going on around you, and you're able to enjoy more the scene, like step outside yourself.
And that's what I think it is. We're enjoying it immensely now. And since we put Matt into our band, who's doing harmonies, he's playing keyboards and guitars and percussion, like it's such a bigger dimension now, and it's more fun. It's more full sound.
Audiences definitely pick up on it too. I mean, I've had a few people specifically come up and say, like, you guys look like you're having the time of your lives up there. And people like to see that. I mean, an audience sees you up there. It's like, give them something to look at. You know?
Right. So maybe you should put some sparkles on Jake's head, and now it's like a disco ball.
That's a good idea.
Okay.
No, duly noted.
Sorry, Jake.
YourLocalNoted.com.
Sorry. All right. So have you had people who've been listening to you from the beginning say to you then, this is so much different than what you were before this experience with this album?
Oh, completely. It's like a 180. I mean, they loved us before because they're loyal fans of ours. But,
Sure.
But they think we're a professional contender now.
Okay. Very
you
cool.
will.
Very cool.
Prize fighters.
So, I mean, the thing is with albums, though, you have enough stuff, and then you have to whittle it down. Obviously, this album is just out and you're promoting it, but are you even thinking of another album and then working with Derek again? Or would you try someone else just to get a different feel for it?
And I think we would work with Derek.
No, we're married.
For sure. Yeah, we're pretty much married. Yeah, we're monogamous, and we're between shows. We're trying to start writing new songs because we feel like we can top this so much.
So, do you feel like you're a better songwriter now that you've gone through?
Yeah, we're all just better.
I think you just nailed it. As we're talking about this, I think we probably all want to touch upon that
Sure.
Not only was this process great for these particular batch of songs, but we walked away with another skill, and that's to be good critics within ourselves and know where these songs are going. We were really good at that actually in the past, and that's what led us to create this album with Derek, because we had tried to do it ourselves and it just kept falling, but we knew collectively that it wasn't going to work.
Would you try to self-produce an album maybe in the future again? I mean, did you like the process, or was it a process that was made easier because you had someone else and you guys were then able to concentrate on the music?
I think Brian could probably speak to this too, as he was the brains behind most of our early recordings. But it allows him to just focus on being a bass player now.
That was the biggest thing for me. I walked in there and I was like, wow, I just get to play bass. I don't have to think about anything else that's going on in here at all. I don't even have to listen to other people's parts right now, Okay. And it was such a relief, and it made me be a much better bass player because, quite honestly, like our last 2 EPs, literally the night before it went to the mastering house, I re-recorded all of my parts. 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm like,
Right.
nah, I don't like that. I'm doing it again.
Right.
And you just torture yourself that way, and you just keep going back over and over, and then this doesn't sound right, and that doesn't sound, and the remixing, and it's just, I couldn't take it anymore.
So you're out of the process.
I'm retired from that.
All right. Did Derek take your input though? Did he? After he stripped some things down, did you go back and say, you know what, we sort of like this? Did he listen to your?
Oh
input?
yeah, he's completely open to our ideas, and what he is and what we are about is whatever's best for the song.
Okay.
He has his ideas, we have ours, and let's see what works and what doesn't.
Give a plug to his studio.
It's called the Barn Studio, and you could look. I don't think he has a website for it, but if you go to derekchafin.com, you'll be able to learn all about him.
It's in Newtown Square.
Yep.
Newtown Square.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Chafin, Chafin.
Correct.
Yep.
How about that?
Yeah.
Not as dumb as I look. Okay, let's talk about where you're going to be playing soon.
Well, we have a show coming up March 22nd at Kelly's Logan House in Wilmington, Delaware.
Okay, cool.
After that, we're going to be playing with the Irish band called The Enemies at the Hard Rock Cafe in Philadelphia.
Nice.
We're excited about that. They're coming off of South by Southwest, and then we're playing with them. So that's March 25th. And then we're going up to Brooklyn March 29th to a venue called Spike Hill.
Okay. Hey, what are you talking about?
Hey.
Down there?
Yeah, going up there.
We're going to break some kneecaps.
We're going to have some beers in Brooklyn.
They don't say break a leg
Okay,
on the
you
show.
guys, you better watch it, okay?
Hey.
Anything else local after that?
April 27th, we're playing Milk Boy in Ardmore.
Nice.
I think it's a cancer benefit.
Okay.
So
Very cool. All right, we'll get all that info out on the site too.
Cool.
Great.
All right, and then let us know where people can find your music.
Well, you can find our music on iTunes, Amazon, Your Local Note, or Spotify, or you can go to our website, parsniprevolt.com.
Excellent.
Find us on Facebook or
All right.
The hub of all information is
It
at
is.
parsniprevolt.com.
Absolutely. All right, guys, let's go to the last song, Wasted Time. Tell us a little bit about that.
Wasted Time was about my grandfather who was passing away from cancer.
Oh.
And he decided, I've had enough of this, essentially. So, songs
And then-
about his
so it's-
experience, I guess.
In memory of him.
Yes, and I put myself in his shoes, if that was even possible, and
Okay.
wrote it through his eyes.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay. The song is called Wasted Time. This is the Parsnip Revolt. Guys, thank you so much for hanging
Thanks
out
for
with us.
having
Thank you
us.
very much for having
Okay,
us.
and we're looking forward to hearing some more great stuff from you. And we hope to have you back again when you're complete with your third album.
I guess we'll see you in 2 years, right?
Very cool. We'll see you before that. All right. Again, this is Wasted Time, the Parsnip Revolt. Their new album is called A Sunshine Report. Of course, we'll have a brand new podcast next week. And of course, you can always get in touch with us by emailing us at contact@yourlocalnote.com. Don't forget, we've got free apps for both the Android phone and the iPhone. All you have to do is go to their respective stores and type in YLN, and you can listen to the site and check out our streaming, which is 24/7. Again, this is the Parsnip Revolt from their new album, A Sunshine Report. The song is called Wasted Time on yourlocalnote.com.